Hi, welcome back. My name is Meng, and today I'm going to be building a long-awaited garden bed from scratch. My wife and I always talked about growing our own foods and promoting a healthier lifestyle, so we decided to finally turn part of our front yard into a garden. To get started, I went to my local home center to pick up some 2x12 pine boards, which I had them cut down to fit the size to fit my SUV because they were just too long, and I really didn't feel the need to rent a truck. Once I had those sorted, I started by sanding the boards with 200 grit. It may not look like it on camera, but the lumber was kind of rough, and I can't recall how many times I got in splinters just from handling this batch. Because the actual size of the garden bed was a little bit oversized, since I had my local home center cut them down, I thought I would vinyl the ends to connect the center part of the boards and to make it look more seamless, instead of having just butt jointed. This being pine boards, I really wanted to seal the exterior and interior of the boards to really extend the life of my garden bed. I'm applying 2 coats following the grain using this oil called Garden Box Sealer, which is a good plant-based sealer which doesn't add harsh chemicals to the soil or the plants. This sealer does have a strong, fruity smell to it. Be sure to take proper precautions and make sure you use it in a well-ventilated area. I had some 4x4 cedar posts from when I renovated the front awning. These will serve as the corner mounting points for all the boards, so I took them to the jointer and planer to remove all the paint and to square them off, and I sealed them with the oil when it was done. I designed my garden bed to fit within the space next to our front concrete wall, scaling 3 by 16 feet. I wanted this to be a raised bed for harvesting vegetables that require deeper soil, so I stacked two 2x12s, making it just under 2 feet to keep the bunnies and other possible scavengers from stealing our veggies. Here I had marked and pre-drilled 2x2 strips to mount and stack two 2x12s. These are just to hold the short boards in place and square them up, also help support when the wood actually expands and contracts. I held the strips with clamps just to prevent it from shifting, and it just makes it easier to pre-drill and mount the screws. I'm using this center mounting board to connect the long boards. I was kind of worried that it wouldn't hold the full weight of all the boards, and I had to be especially careful when handling the boards just in case it snaps or splits. I used some scraps to help square clamp one side so that I can pre-drill and mount the other end, then move on doing the same to the other side. The full weight of the garden bed really did take me by surprise, so I had to really take my time in handling and assembling the panels in parts. And no fancy miters on the end, so I felt just lapping the panels was the easiest way to mount and connect them together. I added 2 dividers to hold and strengthen the frame to prevent the bed from flexing as the soil settles over time. I'm using 2 layers of cardboard as a cost-effective way to shield the barrier to suppress the weeds from growing from underneath. Leading up to this point, I saved all my Amazon shipping boxes to prevent the weeds from making their way up inside the garden bed. I browsed my backyard and I tried my best to get as much wood of all shapes and sizes to fill up a small volume to at least 3 to 4 inches. I made sure to prevent any pockets, and so since I plan to plant tomatoes, they do require somewhere around 15 to 18 inches of soil. Instead of lugging dozens of soil bags from my local home center, I decided to get my soil in bulk from a local landscaper. It was definitely a more practical option. I've done a lot of reading in how to get the most out of my plants using different minerals, soil types, compost, and manure. I've always been a fan of keeping things simple, so ultimately I decided to go with 2 cubic yards of 50-50 blend of topsoil and compost, and this was the simplest way and most cost-effective way to boost my plant's growth. I was actually able to put in a request to mix it in layers, instead of having to manually and struggle mixing it myself. I did have to break down some parts that were clumped up, but for the most part, I'm very satisfied with my decision. I had planted some red chilies, cucumbers, tomatoes, green onions, cilantro, some mustard greens, and I water them almost every other day to keep the soil moist. Overall, it's been a very exciting process as it's been already a couple of weeks, and we just didn't know if they were going to grow at all or see full growth. I'm glad to see that our plants are alive and so vibrant, and some large enough ready to be picked. It's very satisfying to see the growth and how green and vibrant the plants are. Every time I walk by the garden bed, I always get this special sense of healing. Tell me in the comments what you would grow if you had your own garden bed, or if you have suggestions, what should I grow next. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!